During tenure of Mendel's experiments, he actually crossed several pea plants which had one pair of contrasting characters or traits. This is what we call as a monohybrid cross. One pair of trait was only considered and observations were recorded accordingly. Let us study a monohybrid cross in this module. Before we study Mendel's laws and Mendel's monohybrid cross and his work, we need to be acquainted with certain terms. What are they? First, every time when I say parent generation, it means the first generation who are crossed with each other, who are mated to check genotypes of their progeny or of their offspring. How do I represent it? I will represent it as P or P1, that is parent generation. F1 or first filial generation. This is the first offspring of parent generation and I will represent it as F1. F2 means second filial generation, that is the second offspring of parent generation. So F2, look at this. This F2 is the grandchild of parent generation. So if I want to put it in our regular terms, I would say this is grandfather or grandmother, this is father, mother, and this is you. Okay, so F1, P, F1 and F2. How will I represent F2 generation? It is represented as F2. The letters F and 2. Every time when we are studying genetics, we often come across with a word as progeny or offspring or next generation. They all mean the same. Recollect. Look at the picture carefully and recollect what is self-pollination and what is cross-pollination because we will need them when we study Mendel's laws. So A to A to B, B to C or A to C. Look at the diagram and tell me which one is self-pollination and which one is cross-pollination. Let us study Mendel's first law, that is of a monohybrid cross. Why at the end of this we'll understand that the rules for inheritance of traits even in humans are related to the genetic material that is equally contributed by both mother and father to the child. Okay, which means that each trait is under the influence of parental, paternal or maternal DNA, and therefore there could be two versions of a child. We are going to see this actually working at the end of this experiment. What Mendel did was he took two plants, two pea plants. He called them as parent generation. In the parent generation, he ensured that the parent generation was of pure breed. We only will consider them as pure breed only when they are in parent condition. What do you mean by pure breed gametes? You remember homozygous, heterozygous? It's the same. So a tall pea plant where the genotype was capital T, and a dwarf pea plant where the genotype was small t, pure, was taken. They were pollinated. Okay. When they were cross-pollinated, what he obtained, what he observed was the next generation. Now, after parent comes F1. So, F1 generation, all the plants in this F1 generation, all of them were tall. There was no medium height plants at all, which meant that only one of the parental trait was seen and there was no mixture in these two. So, then that made him to think what happened if I now what happens to the genotype. Yes, he found out that the genotype was capital T and small t. So see, we started with a pure breed. Both father mother or mother father, both of them capital T, small t, small t. However, the next generation that we got was heterozygous, capital T, small t. Now what he did? He then allowed that F1 generation to self-pollinate. Okay, he was testing all this time. So the parental generation was cross-pollinated and the F1 generation was self-pollinated. Okay, the progeny of the parental generation was all tall plants, but because they were cross-pollinated. Will the progeny of the F1 generation also yield all tall plants? No, he did not observe this. What he observed was, oh, from all the plants that he studied in the F2 generation, if you look at the diagram, 1, 2, 3, 3 of them were tall and 1 by proportion was dwarf. Okay, right now since I am considering 1 plant, we can have this 3 and 1. But he did not restrict his work only for one plant. He actually studied many several generations. But every time he came across a ratio and that ratio was maintained. When he studied the genotype, he found that were all the tall plants with capital T, capital T? No. This is what he observed. Amongst the 3 tall plants, there was only one which was homozygous and the other 2, they were heterozygous. The third one, will it ever have a capital T over there? Definitely not. The third one was small t, recessive. Remember? So in the F2 generation, what he saw was 3 were tall phenotypically and 1 was short, dwarf. 3:1, that is the ratio. And this is what he termed as inheritance, which says both parents are equal contributors of genetic material where the gametes are separating or the gametes segregate. Okay, here the gametes are segregating T, combination of capital T, small t. That is what is segregating. Now, if I want to represent this monohybrid cross, am I always going to draw a pea plant? No. What I refer to is, first thing, very clear, pair monohybrid means only a single trait. What I do is, I make a square. Okay. I divide it as one side of it would be, I will be placing the male gametes, on the other side, the female. And then this is the parent generation. Remember the parent generation, we were crossing tall with dwarf. Homozygous, pure breed. So I put the gametes, I separate them and I put them across the square this way. And then I just write down the combination, whatever yields over here, say I will cross them, no? So I will write a capital T and a small t over here. In the next time, I will take this capital T from my left and small t from the right. In the column below, again the same thing happens. And the fourth square, again the same thing happens. So look, everywhere it's just the same. So the F1 generation that I get, all of them are tall plants. This is the same thing that we discussed, no, in the previous slide. Parent generation, this is what it yielded me. And all are tall. All of this is F1 generation, the first phylal generation. And this type of representation, I call it as a Punnet's square. Now this cross is yet to be finished. No, we have reached only the F1 generation. Let us see what happens in F2 generation. Again, I draw a square, male, female, F1 generation. I put the gametes of F1 generation. I want you to see this properly. In F1 generation, it was a heterozygous, and that is why, and it was self-pollinated. That is why 1 capital, 1 small, 1 capital, 1 small. Okay. Now, what I will get? Capital T, capital T. In this, I will get capital T, small t. Third, capital T, small t, small t, small t. Whenever we are writing genotype, there is a way in which we write them. The capital letter comes first and the smaller letter will follow. So we always write it this way and we will not write it this way. That is how we go ahead. Okay, that's a trend that is followed, but it means the same. Now, this is my F2 generation. How many tall? 1 tall, 2 tall, 3 tall. 3 tall, 1 dwarf. So phenotypic ratio, phenotype, features, 3 tall, 1 dwarf. Genotypic ratio, I have 1 is to 2 is to 1. 1 for this T and T, 2 for 1 and 2, and 3 for the smaller T. Okay, so this is what it means when I say a monohybrid cross.